For a very long time, India has been known as the pharmacy of the world, from life-saving antibiotics and cancer medicines to affordable drugs for diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease. Indian pharmaceutical companies have become the backbone of healthcare across the globe. We export our medicine to 200 plus countries, and nowhere has that relationship been more important than in the United States. But, and there's a but here, the numbers explain why this matters. The United States is India's largest pharmaceutical export market. Last year alone, India exported $9.7 billion worth of medicines to America. Nearly 40% of all generic medicines consumed in the United States by volume come from India and Indian pharmaceutical companies. Today, supply medicines are being given to 200 countries worldwide. But that equation may be changing, which is why the but comes in. US President Donald Trump has unveiled a phased tariff plan that could fundamentally alter the economics of the generic drug business. Take a look at this. The proposal gives the industry a 2-year breather because generic medicines entering America will continue to face zero tariffs, but this is only for the next 2 years. After that, imports will attract 100% tariff, followed by an eye-whopping 200% tariff thereafter starting 2029. So there is a breather room for 2 years till about 2028, which is when the 100% tariff kicks in, and then you've got 200% tariff starting 2029. The message from Washington is also quite clear and unmistakable. Manufacture your medicines inside America or prepare to pay a heavy price. Now, there are some important points that Indian viewers and the Indian pharma stockists should take a look at. Importantly, this proposal targets generic medicines, whilst patented and innovative drugs, they remain exempt and outside its scope. At first glance, it appears to be a direct assault on India's pharmaceutical exports. But is it really that simple? Because manufacturing generic medicines isn't like assembling smartphones or consumer electronics. India enjoys decades of manufacturing expertise in the same area, lower production costs, massive economies of scale, and one of the world's largest US FDA-approved pharmaceutical manufacturing networks outside of America. But can India really ride out this threat? Industry experts argue that shifting production to the United States is not going to happen overnight. We've got a 2-year breathing window. Building new pharmaceutical plants, it takes years. Regulatory approvals, they're lengthy. And when it comes to manufacturing, we already have that expertise with us. Whilst others now have a 2-year window to rethink their manufacturing strategy, a lot of companies are already manufacturing in the United States. And let's not forget, generic medicines survive on razor-thin margins, making every additional dollar of cost critically important in this particular scenario. Then comes perhaps the biggest question of it all. If production becomes more expensive, who ultimately pays the bill? Is it going to be the manufacturer or is it going to be the end user? American consumers, they rely overwhelmingly on affordable generic medicines. Any disruption in that supply chain could eventually push up healthcare costs, creating a dilemma between economic nationalism and affordable healthcare. So, what one has to understand is that, will these tariffs genuinely bring pharmaceutical manufacturing back to America? Will Indian companies accelerate investments inside the United States? Could American patients be coughing up a little bit more, just paying up a little bit more than they're essentially used to? And what impact will this have on the India-US trade agreement? A little explainer of sorts for you to understand, for all those that closely watch the pharma stocks, for all those that are from the medical fraternity. Just a little update on what's happening on the Trump tariff front. Seemingly an arm-twisting moment for India, for them to push manufacturing inside the United States, but we might be able to ride this threat just yet. All right then, shifting our focus here to the final segment on In Your Interest. This is again a medical story. This is again a very important study that we're dealing with, because just a couple of days back, we spoke about the antibiotics breakthrough, a game changer in our fight against the superbugs. Every time we fall sick, well, most of us expect one thing from our doctor: a medicine that works quickly. And more often than not, that medicine is an antibiotic. But what if the very drugs that are designed to save lives are slowly losing their power because of the way that we're using them? Listen to this very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. A major new study published in the Lancet Public Health has now put India's antibiotic prescribing patterns under the scanner. And why we say that is because the findings are significant as well. Researchers say India is relying far too heavily on powerful watch antibiotics. That's another category of the WHO antibiotics list. Broad spectrum drugs that are meant to be reserved for specific infections where first line medicines are unlikely to work, we prescribe them right at the onset. And the World Health Organization classifies antibiotics into three groups: access, watch, and reserve.